Oh, y'all, this is one of the most shocking and heartbreaking family meltdowns hip-hop has ever seen. T.I., the self-proclaimed king of the South, is facing the ugliest scandal of his career. And this time isn't about his music, his businesses, or even his wife, Tiny. No, this time the drama cuts right through his own household, 'cause his son, KingHarris, just got dragged into the messiest situation imaginable after a graphic tape leaked online that sent social media into chaos. Fans who saw it were left stunned. Industry insiders started whispering. And before the dust could even settle, T.I. himself reportedly stepped forward with a decision so cold, so final that fans couldn't believe their ears. He allegedly told King, "You're not my heir anymore." That's right, word is, T.I. has cut King out of his inheritance and made it clear he's done protecting his son publicly. This isn't just father versus son. This is a generational war. A public disowning and a scandal so messy it's splitting fans right down the middle. Was T.I. justified in cutting King off after this viral disaster? Or did he just destroy his own family legacy for the world to see? Stay locked in, because what we're about to break down isn't just a scandal. It's a family betrayal caught in 4K. From the outside looking in, T.I. always painted himself as a family man. Whether it was his VH1 reality show, T.I. and Tiny, The Family Hustle, or his long-standing reputation as the father figure of Atlanta hip-hop, Clifford Harris positioned himself as someone who knew how to balance rap stardom with parenthood. He was the rapper who dropped platinum records while still making it home in time for family dinners. The man who could talk street politics in the booth 1 second and lecture his kids about education and respect the next. To the world, it looked like T.I. was living the dream: riches, respect, and a family empire that could last generations. But behind the cameras, insiders whisper that things with KingHarris were never easy. King wasn't the quiet, book-smart son. He was the wild child, the one who wanted to carve his own path, but always in the shadow of his father's massive legacy. While T.I. tried to push discipline and traditional values, King gravitated toward chaos. He chased viral moments, reckless decisions, and dramatic stunts that often embarrassed the family name. Fans still remember when King got into fights in public, when videos of him clashing with strangers made their rounds online, and when he bragged on Instagram Live about being outside and living real. For years, critics said he was trying too hard to prove something, not just to the world, but to his father. King wanted to step out of T.I.'s shadow to show he wasn't just Tip's son, but his own man. Yet every time he tried, controversy followed. And then came the family feuds. T.I. himself admitted in interviews that he and King didn't see eye to eye. Tiny, King's mother, often played peacemaker, begging both of them to calm down. But behind the scenes, arguments got ugly. Insiders claim King resented his dad's strict ways, while T.I. felt his son disrespected him publicly far too often. What should have been private family drama often spilled onto social media, making their clashes trending topics for the world to consume. This boiling tension reached its ugliest peak recently, when King and T.I. almost came to blows during a heated argument at a Falcons game. Cameras captured King shouting, T.I. grabbing him, and the entire stadium buzzing as father and son clashed in public. Fans were stunned. The once respected Harris family brand was unraveling in real time, and social media did what it always does: magnify the dysfunction. But as wild as that was, nothing compared to the nightmare that came next. Because when the tape leaked, the one showing KingHarris in a situation that nobody could have prepared for, the internet erupted. Twitter timelines blew up with jokes, memes, disgust, and heartbreak. Some defended King, saying he was just a young man making mistakes. Others ridiculed him, calling him an embarrassment to T.I.'s legacy. Overnight, King became the #1 trending topic, not for his music, not for his ambition, but for a scandal that most fathers would have tried to shield their children from. And yet, according to insiders, T.I. I made a decision that shocked everyone. He didn't defend King. Instead, he reportedly pulled the plug on every ounce of protection and privilege his son thought he had. No more covering mistakes with money. No more pulling strings to keep him safe from backlash. No more inheritance. To many fans, it felt like betrayal, a father disowning his son when he needed him most. To others, it felt like tough love finally being enforced after years of warnings. But one thing was clear. This wasn't just another celebrity scandal. This was a family implosion happening in the open, with every ugly detail being dissected online. Now the question is, what really pushed T.I. to make that ruthless call? It's the tape itself, the years of rebellion, or something much deeper that fans don't even know about yet? Because whispers say this isn't just about one scandal. This is about years of pent-up anger finally exploding. And if that's true, then the Harris family drama has only just begun. The scandal had already cracked the internet in half, but the moment that truly made jaws drop came when T.I. himself decided to step into the chaos. For years, fans had seen him defend his family in the face of controversy. Whether it was Tiny's alleged affairs, his own cheating scandals, or his kids' brushes with drama, T.I. always managed to come across as the patriarch who held it all together. But this time was different. Within hours of the tape going viral, a cryptic post surfaced on T.I.'s Instagram story. It wasn't a video, not even a long message, just a single cold sentence. "When you cross lines, you stand on your own. I raised mine right. The rest is on them." The internet went ballistic. Fans immediately tied the post to King, interpreting it as a public rejection, a father disowning his son in front of millions. The comment section exploded. Some said, "Finally, T.I. cutting him off as the tough love King needs." Others raged. No real dad would throw his kid to the wolves like this. But it didn't stop there, 'cause just an hour later, gossip. Blogs like The Shade Alert and Rap Tea Room claimed they had received insider leaks about what was happening behind closed doors. Allegedly, T.I. called a private family meeting, one that didn't include King. Sources say the gathering was tense, with Tiny in tears, arguing that King needed love, not punishment. But T.I. wasn't budging, and then came the bombshell. Multiple insiders claim that T.I. told his legal team to officially cut King out of his inheritance plan. That revelation spread like wildfire. Every blog, every Twitter thread, every fan page was dissecting the alleged decision. Some posted memes of T.I. handing King a bus pass instead of a trust fund. Others posted crying emojis saying this was the saddest downfall they had ever seen from a celebrity child. But just when fans thought it couldn't get any colder, leaked audio surfaced. A voice allegedly T.I.'s could be heard saying, "I can't give him what I built. I can't give my legacy to somebody who don't respect it. He think clout is currency. He think going viral is the same as going platinum. Nah, that boy gotta learn the hard way. Ain't no handouts for disrespect." The clip was shared over and over again. Some said it was fake, others swore it was real. But one thing was clear. The perception of T.I. had shifted overnight. He wasn't the doting father anymore. He was a cold general cutting off a soldier who went rogue. And King. He didn't stay quiet. Within hours, he went live on Instagram, visibly heated, his voice cracking between rage and hurt. "How you gonna act like I ain't your son?" he shouted to tens of thousands of viewers. "You out here telling the world you cutting me off? I never asked for no inheritance. I never asked for no handouts. All I wanted was respect, but you never gave me that. You gave me lectures, you gave me cameras, you gave me rules, but you never gave me love the way I needed it. The live went viral in minutes. Fans clipped the angriest parts. One segment showed King holding up what he claimed were text messages from T.I., where his father had written, "If you embarrass this family one more time, you'll wish you weren't mine." Fake or not, those screenshots spread like wildfire and the internet couldn't stop talking. Was this tough love, or was it abuse disguised as discipline? Was T.I. protecting his empire, or was he abandoning his child in his darkest moment? And then came the first twist no one saw coming. Insiders whispered that the leaked tape might not have been an accident. Some speculated it was dropped intentionally, not by enemies, not by haters, but by someone close to the Harris family. Whispers grew louder that this was all part of a bigger scheme to sabotage King and finally push him out of the Harris. Dynasty.one blogger even claimed to have proof that a Harris family associate had been shopping the footage around for weeks before it leaked. Suddenly, what looked like King's personal mistake turned into the possibility of a calculated betrayal from within the family's own circle. And if that's true, then the inheritance wasn't just about money. It was about power, legacy, and control. Because what kind of father cuts his son off so swiftly? Unless the scandal was more than just embarrassing, unless it was dangerous, unless the empire itself was at risk, the internet was left hanging, debating, and demanding answers. But behind the noise, one thing was certain. The Harris family war had just officially gone nuclear. And the next twist? That would make everything 10 times worse. The Harris family drama should have slowed down. Those families would have gone private, cleaned up the mess, maybe let lawyers and PR teams do the work. But this wasn't just any family. This was T.I., this was King, and this was the internet age, where silence only fuels louder speculation. By the next morning, hashtags like #TickledHearted and #ProtectKingHarris were trending side by side. One moment, fans dragged King for embarrassing the family name. The next, they were ripping T.I. apart for cutting his son off instead of standing by him. The debate turned ugly, with fake accounts posting doctored screenshots, insider leaks dropping left and right, and even supposed voice notes of family members fighting over the phone. Then came the moment that escalated it all. A well-known gossip blogger dropped a thread claiming the tape wasn't leaked randomly at all. According to their sources, someone inside T.I.'s circle, maybe even family, had shopped the footage around to multiple outlets before it went viral. The blogger went further, saying this was never just about King being reckless. This was about money. This was about power. Somebody wanted him out the picture for good. The internet froze. Who could possibly want King gone so badly? Was it T.I. himself, orchestrating the leak as a way to humiliate his son and justify cutting him out of the inheritance? Or was it someone close? Maybe a jealous sibling? Maybe a bitter relative? Maybe even someone on Tiny's side of the family? That's when a new layer of chaos hit. A leaked document, allegedly from a law firm tied to T.I., surfaced, showing revisions to his will. The document, though unverified, claimed that King's name had been struck out entirely as a beneficiary, and his inheritance redirected to his younger siblings. Whether it was real or fake, fans lost their minds. Not only did he disown him, one Twitter user wrote, but he made it official on paper. That's generational betrayal right there. And then King dropped his own bomb. He went live again. This time calmer, his face a mix of pain and defiance. "I know what y'all seen," he said. "I know what they saying. But y'all don't even know half the story. Y'all think this was an accident. Do you think I just slipped up? Man, this was a setup? Somebody put me out there, and I don't care if it was family or not. I'm gonna find out who did it." That one line turned the scandal from a father-son feud into a full-blown conspiracy. King wasn't just fighting for dignity anymore. He was declaring war against whoever leaked the tape. Fans started theorizing. Could it have been T.I. himself, tired of King embarrassing him? Or Tiny trying to shield the younger kids? Or maybe even an outsider close enough to the family to have access to King's private life. But the real shocker came when another insider leak emerged. This time, a voice allegedly between Tiny and a family friend. In the recording, a woman sounding like Tiny could be heard sobbing. "He's still our baby. He's still our son. Can't just erase him because the internet talking. Can't just erase him because you're mad." The friend's voice replied, "He said he done. He said King don't represent the family no more. He said King can live on his own since he wanna act grown." And he meant that. If authentic, this meant T.I. wasn't bluffing, he had made his final decision. Fans went into meltdown. Instagram comment sections turned into battlefields. Some shouted, "King made his bed, now he gotta lie in it." Others demanded T.I. step down from his pedestal, calling him a hypocrite for abandoning his child, when he himself had a long record of scandals. And then came the shocking reveal that flipped the narrative. One blogger claimed to have evidence that the tape wasn't about King being reckless with strangers. It was allegedly recorded during a private moment with someone connected to the industry. If true, that meant the stakes were bigger than just embarrassment. It meant the tape could expose other powerful names. Suddenly, the rumor mill went wild. People speculated that the tape had two faces in it, one blurred, one not. If that was true, then this wasn't just about King's humiliation. This was about protecting the identity of someone else in the industry, someone big, someone who didn't want their secret out. Theories spiraled everywhere. Some pointed at rival rappers. Some whispered about producers. Others even dragged in old feuds, claiming this was revenge against T.I. himself by tarnishing his son's image. But here's where it got really brutal. Whispers started saying that T.I.'s decision to cut King out wasn't just about discipline, it was about damage control. By erasing King from the family's financial future, he was allegedly making sure no one could leverage King's mistakes to come after the Harris Empire. 2 fans. This revelation painted T.I. not as a hurt father, but as a cold businessman protecting the brand at all costs, even if it meant sacrificing his own blood. And in the middle of it all, King doubled down. His final words on live shook everyone. "If you don't want me, cool. If you want to erase me, fine. But I'll never let nobody silence me. Y'all think y'all seen a scandal? Watch what happens next." The cliffhanger left the internet spinning. What did King mean? Was he sitting on dirt that could expose his own father? Was this just talk? Or was King about to flip the whole Harris dynasty upside down? One thing was clear. This wasn't ending. This was only the beginning by this point. The Harris family drama wasn't just a private storm. It was a full-blown cultural earthquake. The moment T.I.'s inheritance bombshell mixed with King's furious Instagram Live. The world of hip-hop, Hollywood, and social media became one giant courtroom, everyone picking sides. Everyone waiting for the next punch to land. Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram feeds were filled with memes and threads. One fan posted a viral clip of T.I. on an old reality show lecturing King as a child with the caption, "Turns out he was raising an enemy all along." Another account stitched King's recent meltdown with clips of past interviews where he openly admitted feeling different from his siblings. The narrative was forming. King was the black sheep of the Harris Empire, and now he'd been cut out for good. But it wasn't just fans who jumped in. The industry itself started reacting. Boosie Bottas went live on Instagram shaking his head. "Man, T, I'm wrong for that. Don't cut your son out in public like that. That's family business. Handle that behind closed doors." Now, the whole world watching this boy drown. His words racked up thousands of likes and reposts, sparking debates in the comments. Charlemagne Thaw God chimed in on The Breakfast Club. "This is legacy we talking about. If T.I. really cut King out the inheritance, that's bigger than just punishment. That's a message to the industry. Protect the empire first, feelings second." Even 50 Cent couldn't resist dropping a shady meme of himself in a crown, with the caption, "See, I'd never cut my son out the empire. Oh wait." Fans instantly dragged him for bringing up his own fractured relationship with his son. But it only added fuel to the chaos. Meanwhile, blogs and tabloids had a field. day, TMZ ran with the headline, "T.I. disowns King. Sources say he's out of the will." The Shade Room posted King's most emotional quotes from his live stream, letting fans weigh in with fire emojis and prayer hands. Hollywood Unlocked framed it as a generational curse, saying King wanted independence and now he's got it, but at what cost? What cost? The reaction wasn't all in King's favor. Some fans called him entitled, spoiled, and reckless. This kid been embarrassing his dad for years. One viral tweet read, "From fights in Waffle House to Instagram rants. T, I had enough. Don't blame him." Others fought back. Embarrassment or not, that's still his child. Cutting your son off publicly is wild. That's not parenting, that's branding. And then came the celebrities closest to the family. Zonique, T.I.'s stepdaughter, posted a vague tweet that had everyone talking. Funny how the ones who scream loyalty the loudest never show it when it counts. No names, no context, but fans instantly tied it to the unfolding war between King and T.I., even Tiny, normally quiet during public storms, posted a single Instagram story, a black screen with the words, "Love don't stop when life gets messy." Some saw it as support for King. Others thought it was a plea for T.I. to forgive. The reactions stretched beyond music. Social justice activists weighed in, calling the situation a reflection of toxic masculinity in hip-hop families. One viral TikTok said, "This is what happens when fathers prioritize image over emotional support. King needed guidance, not rejection." Others framed it as necessary. Sometimes tough love means protecting your empire, even from your own blood. And then came the industry whispers that brands tied to T.I. were panicking, with his empire including music, fashion, and TV projects. Insiders claimed executives were nervous about how this scandal could bleed into their deals. Was T.I. alienating fans by going so hard against his son? Or was he reinforcing his reputation as a no-nonsense businessman who'd protect his legacy at all costs? But the loudest reaction wasn't from blogs, celebs, or activists. It was from fans who grew up watching T.I. and Tiny, the family hustle. They felt betrayed. "We watched King grow up on TV," one fan wrote in a Facebook group. "We saw him as the funny little kid. Now he's broken and disowned. It's like watching your cousin get kicked out the family." Everywhere you looked, the Harris name was trending, but not for music, not for business, for dysfunction, for a son fighting to be seen and a father determined to erase him. And the mess wasn't slowing down, because even as reactions poured in, another bomb was about to drop, one that would twist the knife even deeper. Because the whispers about betrayal, they weren't whispers anymore. They were about to explode into proof. Just when the internet thought it had seen the worst of it, the Harris family saga detonated in a way no one was prepared for. The whispers about betrayal inside the family. They weren't whispers anymore. They were screaming late one night. A blog called Wrapped Whispers dropped what they claimed was proof of the setup King had been hinting at. A series of leaked text screenshots allegedly showed someone very close to the Harris household coordinating with a media outlet weeks before the tape went viral. The sender's name was blurred, but one initial slipped through. A bold D. Fans immediately went into detective mode. Who was D? Some speculated it could be Damani, one of King's cousins. Others pointed fingers at family friends, whose names started with D, but the most dangerous theory circulating was this: that the D stood for Damani Harris's King's own brother. The theory sent shockwaves through the fandom. Could it really be possible that King's own blood had leaked the tape to secure his position in the Harris legacy? The idea wasn't far-fetched to some. Damani had always been the quieter, more musically focused brother, often praised by T for being disciplined and staying out of trouble. In contrast, King was wild, unpredictable, always making headlines for the wrong reasons. If Damani really was the one behind the leak, it would mean the Harris war wasn't just between father and son, it was brother versus brother, blood versus blood. But then came an even bigger blow. A new leak surfaced, this time a voice recording. A deep, stern voice that fans swore belonged to T.I. could be heard saying, "I told you to keep it in the family. I told you don't let that boy ruin what we built. If he go down, he go down. That's on him. But don't you dare bring this back on me," was T.I. talking to Domani. Was this a conversation confirming that the betrayal had indeed come from inside the house? The internet couldn't decide, but the timing was brutal. King reposted the clip on his story with 3 words. That made fans' blood run cold, now you see. That post lit the internet on fire. King wasn't hiding anymore. He was all but confirming that someone in the family, maybe even with T.I.'s blessing, had set him up. The betrayal wasn't just real. It was personal. The Harris empire was cracking in real time. Fans who once watched The Family Hustle as a wholesome reality show about love, growth, and hustle were now watching the ugliest family implosion hip-hop had ever seen. And the cliffhanger. King promised more receipts. On his last live, his final words sent chills. "This ain't over. Y'all want the truth? I got it. I'm done playing nice. I'm done being the scapegoat. If I go down, I'm taking everybody with me. Watch." The screen went black, leaving thousands of viewers in stunned silence. And now, the world is holding its breath. Is King about to expose his own father? Is he sitting on tapes, messages, secrets that could destroy the Harris brand forever? Did T.I. knowingly sacrifice his son to protect the empire? Or is this all just the tragic collapse of a family that let fame become poison? The answers are coming. But one thing is for sure, whatever King drops next will change everything. So now you've heard it all. The scandal that has completely shattered the Harris family image. A leaked tape, a father cutting off his own bloodline, rumors of betrayal from within, and King standing defiant against not just the internet, but his very own family. And yet, somehow, it feels like we're only scratching the surface of this chaos. Because here's the real question. For all of you watching, was T.I. right to put his empire above his son? Or did he just make the coldest, most unforgivable move a father could ever make? Think about it. We're not just talking about discipline here. We're talking about inheritance, legacy, and the public erasure of his own child. Does that sound like love? Or does that sound like business? And what about King? Is he the victim of a family conspiracy set up by his own blood to be humiliated and pushed out? Or is he simply facing the consequences of years of reckless behavior? Finally, catching up to him in the worst possible way. Fans are split right down the middle. Some say he deserves the downfall. Others say he's the only one brave enough to stand up against T.I.'s iron fist. But the biggest question of all, is King telling the truth when he says he has more receipts? Could he be sitting on evidence that would not just expose his father, but destroy the Harris empire for good? If those leaks drop, if King really presses the button on his so-called truth, we might be looking at the end of T.I.'s reign as we know it. Now it's your turn. Okay, drop your thoughts in the comments. Is T.I. a heartless father, or a man doing what he had to do to protect his legacy? Should King fight back with everything he's got, or walk away and build his own empire from scratch? And more importantly, King really does have dirt on T.I.? Do you think he'll actually expose it? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell because the Harris family war is far from over. When the next chapter drops, you'll want to be the first to know. Trust me, this story is only getting darker.